Guten Morgen and Happy Freitag. Nah, you're not on the German show. Yeah, you're right here on Fail Fast Friday. I don't know why I wanted a little German today, but we got it just a little bit. Hey, 51 seconds. Make sure you follow along, subscribe. We got not only longtime friend, first-time caller, Brian Westgate with us here talking through failures. This guy, not only Air Force Global Strike, Enterprise Cyber Capabilities. That's a long title. But the long title begets a genius man. Coming up right here, Fail Fast Friday, 30 seconds. Follow along, subscribe on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you, not TikTok. Don't even think about TikTok. Don't even think about it. But all those other platforms, wherever you're watching from, make sure you subscribe. You got 17 seconds. Right here, Fail Fast Friday. Thanks for joining. Yes, my friends, it's good to see you again. You know, it never gets old saying hello to you halfway through the week and at the completion of it, just storming right into the weekend. Good to have you. Welcome to Fail Fast Friday. I'm Trigger Jordan, your host, right here at the edge of innovation with your strategic innovation team, Morpheus. That's right. We are nestled right in the strategic studies group with the Vice Chief of Staff's team, looking across the Air Force, talking to awesome people exactly like this gentleman we have coming up right now here in just a moment. But I will tell you, if you haven't done it yet, you should probably really consider doing this. You should consider going to YouTube if you haven't done it yet. Follow along with the great things we have going on there. Content each and every week. You can subscribe, follow, like. Also, here in a little bit, I'll show you where specifically you can go to that you'll actually be able to also subscribe to the website, MorpheusAF.com. So I got the wrong lower thirds. Dave, help me with the lower thirds. Come on, man. What are we doing? Anyway, you can go to Morpheus, MorpheusAF.com or YouTube right there. Follow along. But you're not here for that. I'll tell you what you're here for. You're here for this guy. You're here to be able to talk to the genius, the man, the myth, the legend, if you will, who has followed along in innovation for a very long time, but also paved the way many times. It is none other than Brian Westgate. Brian, what's up, baby? Dude.
Yes. We made it.
We made it. Behind the scenes, people don't realize it's been a folly of errors of microphones and blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't realize there's a lot of struggle that goes along the way to be able to get here. But baby, we're here. We're here now, right now. We are. We got even connecting with you earlier this week and multiple times before. You've been a friend of Morpheus for a long time. But it's been really amazing cool to see and follow along with you and what's going on in Global Strike and the great work that is being done at your hand, because you're constantly active, especially on the Slack channel with Spark all the time. So first off, Fail Fast Friday.
Some chat rooms.
Love some chat room because they're so creative, man. Like, people are always doing great stuff. But over to you, my man. I know you have a lot of great things going on. We'll get to failures, but give us a quick update. What's newest and brightest, and what's been happening there before we dive into the value of failure today?
Oh man, high tempo. Lots of stuff is always happening. You know it. I know it. Next up, I'm coming to be one of the cyber hackers.
Oh, buddy.
The DoD. Yep. Taking
What?
the Cyber 200 class. Can't get a microphone working, but you know what? I could get into a network.
I think that does.
We'll
Dave, does that deserve a? Yeah, it does. Yep. Dave said yes. Absolutely, that is worthy of. Okay, pipe down, people. Jeez, God, they get out of control. They think somehow we have all day long to be able to do to just, let them do what they do, clapping. But seriously, that's super exciting. Diving into it. What you start that when?
Next week.
Next week.
On Sunday.
Oh my gosh, man.
Course. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Look forward to it.
That's super cool. Really cool to see people across the innovation ecosystem doing great things, continuing to do great things, expanding out, broadening their horizons, as we say. But some of the things that you've been doing, that's really cool to find out, not only the hacking piece of it, but honestly, man, you've been hacking a long time, but well before getting into this course. And I mean that in the sense of If you follow along with Brian on the Slack channel, you'll see he's got life hacks, he's got innovation hacks, he's got he's got efficiency hacks all day long. Like this guy, it's what you do. What have you seen really cool recently in just not only some of those chat rooms, forums, Slack channels, but what are some of the things you've been seeing out just across not only the MatchCon but the Air Force that have really been catching your attention?
Oh man, Ready Player Air Force is really taking off.
Dude, isn't it? Super cool.
VR training for all the pilots, or just replacing tech schools with VR. We won't go that far.
Yeah.
We aren't replacing anything. We're adding to it.
Right. That's Ready Player Air Force. We were talking to Meyer last week. It was last week, a couple weeks ago. Where we haven't even had a full conversation yet about Ready Player Air Force. It was more of a tag on to some of the lessons learned he was sharing from showing up. But really, we had this conversation about the second generation, or I guess second iteration, because multiple times people have corrected me. Well, technically, it's not a second generation. Shut up. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm saying. Let simple trigger be simple trigger. But the second generation,
you got the technology side and you got the human side as well.
Right.
It's like neurodiversity AF.
Yeah.
Standing up, getting some traction.
Yeah. No kidding. No, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
I think it's pretty much a subclass of the Fortify the Force initiative teams.
Yeah.
The neurodiversity AF team is trying to bring more acceptance, empowerment, and support to those that are neurodivergent within the Air Force or outside of the Air Force trying to get in.
Yeah. Super cool. Man, there's awesome things happening all over the place. Truly. Well, before people start getting the confusion of, wait a minute, am I on Winning Wednesday talking about wins? No, we're talking about failure. But sometimes there's so many good things going on and we just can't ignore them. But one of the conversations I wanted to go back to is a little bit of this idea that, we have a new tier of people stepping in, replacing guys like me, gals like oh my gosh, Carrie, she's been a huge contracting individual. She's GS, but she's recently saw that she moved on to a new position. But she's been huge in the contracting innovation space for a long time, Shepherd Air Force Base. You have people that are moving out who have been there in the space, creating founding capabilities, and then you have the replacements coming in as we have PCSs and moves and several things happening. And the reason why I bring this up on Fail Fast Friday is because, a lot of what was initially grown that has gotten, I'd say, us at large to where we're at now, 3-4 years after the beginning of AFWorks, has been these trying and failing. And whether the foundation has been built upon the skeletons of things we've tried before, or whether it's been built upon actual just real successes, either way, there has been a foundation built, lessons learned from that. However, when you have this changeover of manpower and womanpower taking positions, that sometimes is lost if you don't get a good translation into that. So when we talk about failures on Fail Fast Friday, like, what are some of the things that you've seen that have been major lessons learned of either a failure or something that was a setback, that if that information is not passed on, we will be setting ourselves back literally 2 years, 3 years. You know what I mean? Have any thoughts that come to mind on that?
Yeah. Well, you've talked a lot about failures in the past, and I've loved some of the previous videos and stuff you released on that. I think it's kind of important to define what's a win, what's a failure. A win is kind of like when you feel proud of something, or when someone comes up to you and thanks you for something.
Yeah.
A failure is when you feel really guilty about something, or you hurt someone, or made someone else's job harder. A failure is not when you build a boat and it sinks. That's not a failure. That's a lesson learned.
What?
Maybe some time and resources are wasted, probably your own, but nobody was hurt.
Right.
So that's not a failure.
Right. Well, that's really interesting you bring that up, because I think there's probably some people who are listening who would say, well, Brian, I don't agree with you. Like, if you put money to it, then it should have been a success. That's not true. That's not, this is what this innovation process is trying to identify how is it. Yes, we want to be efficient. Yes, of course, we want to be effective with what we're doing, but it doesn't mean we're going to have perfection at it. Have you seen
Just play.
Have you seen perfection become the enemy of good and implementing it and actually getting a product out the door that is useful? But people have tried to focus so much on the perfection of, well, it's got to be exactly, that they actually never got it to fruition.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What
That happens quite a lot.
what tell me about that. What do you have an example of something you've seen where it's like, okay, we're spending way too long on this, we just need to get it out the door?
As far as like any projects or anything, I couldn't think of any specific examples because nothing has actually ended up hurting anyone.
Right.
But for a personal journey or so, one of the freshest wounds, I would guess, to discuss
I like
is
that.
failing to appreciate a situation that I worked myself into by
Huh.
speeding too much or failing to communicate while maintaining that safety or respect with others.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it actually kind of came about because this whole 9i initiative. Uh, so basically, about a year ago, I joined into or got appraised of this future airman's position via
Yeah.
TMT that I heard about some friends within the whole innovation ecosystem. And reading the job description and everything, it was directly in line with everything I was trying to do with since following design warfare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was, in fact, lining up with a AFWorks fellowship at the time, as well as Project Mercury. I was like, oh man, all this is awesome. And it's kind of going to be my training for this new position. Well, as Air Force things tend to happen, they move a little bit slow. Months kind of went by before any kind of action was taken on this new job. Well after the interview, uh, but figured, hey, it's a new year, new job. Right after the holidays, we'll just call the cut line and start the new job.
Right.
But I made a lot of false assumptions about what the job was.
Yeah. Huh.
I think I was kind of qualified for it. There were a lot of disagreements with the approach.
Huh.
I have a lot
Interesting.
of different hot takes on certain things,
Yeah.
especially when I'm backed by disruptive thinking from AFWorks and
Yeah.
Project Mercury's kind of strategy overall.
Yeah.
And I think one of the failures was a lot of that disagreement led to a loss of respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So shifted to other positions while trying to align to what the job was actually for. Saw a lot of people using the same kind of older approaches and me still trying to be disruptive. And it started to kind of affect me, make me feel devalued.
Yeah.
And it actually made me focus more into the innovation ecosystem because that's where my friends were.
Yeah.
I didn't have like coworkers or peers within from shifting around so much.
Yeah.
But people like you guys, you were there.
Oh man. Oh gosh. Dave, where's the applause on that one? That was like the perfect time to that. Come on, man. He's talking about
that's a win for you.
Pull it together. Yeah. Yeah. It's a win for us in the innovation side. I mean, but truly, man, I mean, there's something that real that has happened in that space is you get to know people because you're going through the trenches of trying to solve some of these really serious, challenging situations that aren't easy. And oftentimes it's like, it really is a challenge. It really is a challenge to be able to get people to understand what's going on and how is it that we can view each other as equals while we grow through this, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. How is it that we can support and grow and challenge each other? You know, one of the things that you've talked about it for a while. We watch it from a distance of people getting involved with like an ecosystem map, because not only when you build these relationships, but also as you build those relationships that you were just talking about, you start finding out the great things that other people are doing. And you're like, man, I didn't know about that. Like, how long have you been doing that thing? Like, what? I needed this 2 months ago. I need more of this. And you saw a need there and started kind of building out this board map. Now, I know previously I know there's been ecosystem apps that have flown around or have been out there, but it's been hard to find and identify the map that is updated all the time. Disclaimer alert, that's we're not saying that this is the map, not saying that Brian's map is the map of all maps, but it is really cool.
Not my map.
It's that's what's so cool
your
about
map.
it. That's what's so cool about it, man.
You, the viewer.
Yeah.
It's your map.
It's your. Would you mind sharing just a little bit about what's there and what is what you've been working on, and frankly, what the ecosystem has been organically just building and putting together? Because even though we're talking about Fail Fast Friday, this is coming up in a second of what the potential failure is if we don't find the commonalities and continue growing this collaborative effort. Would you mind sharing what that is? Or I don't know, maybe you can even share your screen, but would you tell us just a little bit about what that is?
Yeah. It's actually kind of a product of this whole failure through my journey. I made a lot of connections and stuff, but it wasn't going to last forever. So I had to put it down somewhere. I had to make a note somewhere. And in doing so, I realized that a lot of people need access to this kind of information. A lot of people are hungry for these kind of connections that I've been making. Some of these people are even hungry for just a simple map of spark cells.
Right.
Yes, there's a map on AFWorks and stuff, but you got to reach out to them to update it and so forth. And what happens when you type anything in Google? What's the first link that comes up?
Yeah.
It's generally a Wikipedia. That's someone else, some stranger on the internet probably wrote.
Yeah.
And had discussions about and debates about, but nobody actually owns Wikipedia. It's this collaborative effort from the community. And that's why I pivoted to using Miro for taking my notes and just kind of left it there. I might actually be able to pull it up and share
I think
my
you can
screen
if you share.
So,
I thought I saw it earlier, and this is something that in reaching out to people, and just to clarify, we're not finger pointing at anybody on anything. We're not saying, oh well, they should be owning this. Half the time, it's when you are so involved and with what you're doing and where you're going and how things are working. Sometimes we miss the simplest thing that maybe we should have caught earlier. So just the disclaimer for anybody who would say, oh well, you're placing blame. No, we're not. We're owning as much blame as anybody. We're just talking about what is out in the ecosystem that can be utilized and needs to be worked through. Okay, here we go. Looks like we're presenting. Oh, boom. There you go. Right there.
Yep. So here we go. This is my take on the ecosystem, but most of this stuff I actually didn't put on here. It came from users like you. I'm getting emails left and right on notifications of, hey, so-and-so added this, so-and-so commented on this, and it's growing. I'm excited for it. So long as you follow these simple rules here, I think it's a good template for people to contribute whatever they want to contribute and share within the ecosystem.
Super cool.
While we're all out on our journeys, sailing on our different boats, trying to find new lands and new treasures, the only thing we actually got is each other.
Yeah. That is incredibly good. I love that. I love these rules as you go down them: safety, respect, transparency, effectiveness, and gives you a chance to be able to post pieces out there. And as people post information, you're going through this and kind of curating this at this time, or is this the community's responsibility to curate this? Like, how do you see that going?
I definitely invite the community to self-curate, self-moderate, because I won't be able to catch up on every little detail, especially if this explodes.
Right.
Maybe we'll find a team to kind of collaboratively work together on it, like many web forums have a moderation team of some sort. But it's getting to the point where there's too much information and we need more organization, and gotta intelligently do that somehow.
That's super cool.
Definitely so keep the information coming in. Keep plugging it in.
How do people get access to this, to utilize this?
They should be able to just use the link, and we'll drop in a link later on.
Okay.
But you'll see it, and I don't think you need an account or anything to just start adding comments or sticky notes. Got I think it's called a consulting license.
Awesome.
You're able to open up to the internet.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really, really cool. And For anybody out there, again, this is a chance for you to be able to go and take a look at this and see if you have anything to offer. What is it that you're doing? There's great platforms to be able to post questions. So if you have questions, this is more of a repository of information, I would say, of sharing what you have, connections you have. There are some really great examples. Hold on, let me go back to it just to be able to show. Yeah, he's given a zoom in right there of kind of the map. You can go look at, you can add to, and then even as you zoom in on Spark Cells, it looks like you can add the notes of what your Spark Cell is working on. Now I realize also there's
projects.
Yeah, different projects that are there. It's kind of a visual, if you will, an interactive visual map. Man, it's almost as though this is exactly what the world has been looking for. It's almost as, you know what I mean? So if you currently have
a lot of the questions I get in Slack are just from some airmen that just PCS to a new base and they want to find out what's going on around that base.
Yeah.
Where is their Spark Cell?
Yeah. Yeah. A great chance, a great way to immediately get connected, look at it. We are going to update for those who have been to MorpheusAF.com. This is perfect time for that. If you've been to MorpheusAF.com, you know there's the Innovation Pathway trifold that we have on there. Initially, it was designed for commanders. However, it's really for anybody. If you have an idea, what do you do? Where do you go? I think this is a perfect place. We're going to add this to the innovation map system to be able to look and find, for you to just get a snapshot, Brian, if that's all right, for you to see out there. Just realize this isn't. It's not a sanctioned. It's not a sanctioned where, hey, this is massively funded and it's always. This is created by, as Brian said, the crowd, the people, the ecosystem itself. So the type of information you put into it is the type of information you're going to get out of it right there. This is why I want to bring this up kind of as we close out this session of Fail Fast Friday is there is an opportunity, a couple opportunities of potential setback, failure, or lessons learned from this. Is this one? If you don't put good information into it, you're not going to get out of it. And then it really becomes a system people don't use. But two, here's the other idea is, I know, Brian, there's been people that have been working towards mapping the ecosystem, utilizing, finding out what resources are there. Here's the opportunity of a real failure, I would say actual failure of this coming up. And the reason why I say opportunity, I'm saying there's a chance this could happen, is if we look at a capability like this and say, yeah, but I didn't create that, so I'm not going to invest into it. Oh, come on. Like, why? Why would we do? One, that's immature. Two, that's immature. Three, it only hurts you. And then it starts hurting other people as well, talking about hurting people. This is one of the things we have to get through. It has to be about the idea, not about the ownership. It has to be about what's best for the ecosystem, not whose name is under the plate of who created it. Because if you really care about making a change in the Air Force innovation ecosystem, you'll realize that it's for the greater good of what the Air Force is getting after. This is one of the things that senior leaders, General Alvin and Chief Brown, consistently reinforce is, listen, if you're looking to and trying to find this holy grail pathway to be an innovation your entire life, you're looking at the wrong thing. Because innovation isn't something that you just step into. It's a mindset. It's a culture. It's something that we have to become, that we're doing all the time. And if you're doing it all the time, then it's not something that you own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a mindset you become, but it's not something you step into and step out of. It's just what you do, you know?
I would say it's the journey. It's not the boat you build. It's not the patents you put on the boat.
Yeah.
It's you jumping on that boat and seeing where it takes you.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, dude, I love it. I love it. Love it. Sir, your wisdom coming from Global Strike, what would you say to the innovators out there who say, guys, I love this, but you don't understand my setback? What's that encouragement you would give to them? What would you send them out the door with on Friday?
Perseverance.
Ooh.
Just keep going after it. Don't give up. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and so long as you don't hurt anyone, just keep on failing.
That's right. Keep on pressing into it. Learn from it. Don't get stopped by it. Keep on pressing in. Dude, totally love it. Brian, thanks for joining us, brother. We truly appreciate it right here with Morpheus.
Thank you, Trigger.
We'll see you, man. Good talking to you again. Always, it's so good to have friends of Morpheus out and about, doing great things, sharing information just like that. If you do want to connect with the team, you can email us right here, team@morpheusaf.com. We'd love to be able to help you with anything you're looking for and point you in the right direction, because that's just why we're here, the edge of innovation right here. Again, Trigger Jordan, it's been fun being with you. Make sure you go subscribe YouTube, to YouTube, Facebook, the website, morpheusaf.com for you to be able to get the updates that you're looking for. I should also probably look at the right camera. The updates you're looking for, and don't hesitate to be able to reach out. Check out the link to the ecosystem map that Brian and the innovation ecosystem has been working on. You don't want to miss it. Truly, truly amazing. Parting shot. There it is. Look at it. Right there. Oh, I got a name slide over it, but right there, the map there, you can follow along with the link. Super cool. Thanks for joining, friends. We will see you next time, Winning Wednesday next week, as we keep on diving into the wins. And we have Spark coming up. Spark with Michael Offenbecker is going to be with us, as well as following it from that, Connor from the Air Force Senior NCO Academy. Yeah. It's going to be exciting. Going to be talking to wins. We'll see you next time, friends. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining us, as always.